The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
Grab his dick and twist it!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Might Be Brews, Season 2, Episode 11, the podcast where we explore the people, places, and brews of the craft beer world. My name is John. With me, as always, Mr. Steve. How you doing this fine evening?
Hello, hello, hello.
And the man behind the board, my brother Taylor. How's it going?
What's up, everybody?
And we are in the presence of royalty.
Oh.
Our guest today, the crowned IPA queen of Westchester, our friend Dana. How you doing, Dana?
I'm doing awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm really, really excited. If you guys didn't realize the last episode we did, Kennet Brewfest, you were actually on at the end of it, and I was really excited to finally talk to you on the podcast. But we have you here for a whole episode, and we're pumped. So thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
If you're listening to us, please know that we love you guys. But if you enjoy the shows, we really would like your support. And if you're interested, check out patreon.com/MBN Network. Extra content, free swag, monthly giveaways. Also, check out our sponsor, Eunomia CBD. 100% THC free CBD. Reduce inflammation, stress, anxiety. They've got drops, gummies, and more. EunomiaCBD.com. That's EunomiaCBD.com. Check it out. Woo! I'm ready for a beer. What are we going to start with? We've got a lot of stuff on the table here.
We're not going to start with the one in my hand, and we'll talk about this later, but this beer is either going to be incredible or it's going to suck.
Yeah?
There's not going to be any in between.
That's interesting.
Because there's a lot going on in here, but we'll get into that one later. That's a
Talk about a teaser.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. It's what they do in the biz.
Yeah.
Wow. We're not going to tease this though.
We're like legit radio. I feel like we're doing sponsors and we're doing teasers and giveaways. We're going to start doing stunts, I think.
We're going to start with a little Pilsner.
Yeah.
We got other half, the Crickets Pilsner.
Yeah, I went up to Connecticut recently for work, and on the way up there, I was like, you know what? I think it's going to be perfect timing. I'm going to be there right when they open, going through New York. So I went to Brooklyn and got me some other half. It was on a Monday, so they didn't have a ton of cans left. I'm sure they were a little beat up from the weekend festivities and all the can releases and stuff. But everything that I got has been awesome.
I'm surprised they were open on a Monday.
Yeah. They are open on Mondays.
So what's
they
that?
open at 11.
I've heard horror stories might sound rough, but of just trying to get there and parking. How is that set up? Is it tough to get into?
Dana, have you been there?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So there's no parking lot, and I think where I parked might not have been a legal spot.
Hey,
there
do
was
what you gotta do.
There was. It looked like parking, but nobody else was parked there, which is usually the first sign that maybe you shouldn't be there in the first place. But my feeling was like, I'm going to try to be in and out real quick. So I made a couple loops around the block to see if there was any spots to parallel park, and there really wasn't. But there was this one place that was around the corner, and it was only like a 5-minute walk, if that. So I just walked. I think I got a case total maybe with like maybe a couple extra 4-packs on top and a t-shirt that I'm wearing. So but yeah, I don't know. It's
a block's that's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad at all. It was really short walk. So I think I lucked out that, I was right around the corner. But how many times have you been, Dana?
I've only been once. Took the train, so I didn't have the parking dilemma that you did. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard people say that they, will like park somewhere and then Uber the rest of the way. I've heard a lot of different things. So I think I lucked out because it was early. It was like literally 11 a.m. on a Monday. Who's going to a brewery?
You.
Yeah, me. That was it.
How is the train getting there? How many different? Is it a lot of switchy?
Well, I was actually staying in Brooklyn and took the subway, the train, and it was only a couple stops and got off right there and didn't buy any cans, but had a couple flights.
I definitely love the other half IPAs. I've said before, I like them better than the Trilliums and Treehouses of the world. It's just me, my personal thing. But this Pilsner is a different take from them for certain.
You know what was funny is maybe they're not used to it, but I walked up to the counter and I said, I want 2 of each that you have. And she goes, one's a Pilsner. Do you want the Pilsner? I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I went to Pilsner.
Like she thought most people were like, give me all the IPAs maybe. I don't know if they.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I don't want anything else. But she was surprised that I was like, no, I definitely want the Pilsner.
And I'll tell you right now, if I would have went up there 4 years ago, I would not have gotten the Pilsner.
Right? Yeah.
I like the label a lot.
It's a very simple.
Like
this
it's
one.
got a little cricket on there.
Yep. Sure. Cricket.
Chirp.
I like it a lot. I mean, it's very crisp.
I don't have a cricket impression.
It's very.
I have a cricket button, just not equipped.
I
So
like,
why
I
even
think we
talk
should
about
have,
it?
Yeah, I think we should have that. But
I look like a penis.
No, that one's
yeah,
on there.
that's a good one. But yeah, let's go ahead and rate this thing quick. I'm gonna go 4.
I'm gonna go 4.25. It's hit me in the right spots tonight. Nice crispness to it. It's got a little bit of that hop characteristic in the back of it, kind of that earthy note to it.
Yeah,
I like it.
4 or 5. I would drink this every day.
Yeah.
All day.
banger.
It's an everydayer.
I would give it a 4. I'm really impressed. I am usually not another half fan because I don't really like the orange juicy beers. This is beautiful. It's clear, which is shocking for other half. It's not quite as crisp as some Pilsners can be, but it's really tasty, and I could quaff this.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's delicious.
I could drink this all day.
All day, every day.
So let's I want to give a shout out to Jeff over at Kennett Brewfest again, because our last episode was probably the most fun I've had recording so far.
It was the most fun you've had recording so
For
far.
sure.
Absolutely.
And you can tell listening to the episode. I think it was so funny because I didn't, I guess, realize it in the moment. But, you know, when I was going back and listening to it, towards the end of the last few, I was just like, I love you guys. And like I just started telling people that I loved them at the end of the episode. It was a blast.
My favorite part of the show was when we had Brett and Laura on. And it's from like the middle of the afternoon on, like I had to remind everybody, like before we came back, like don't say we're back.
Right.
Don't say and we're back.
Yeah.
And John was like, and we're back.
Yeah.
You told me not to say that. I did it anyway. Fuck it. It was just like, it was the perfect, like, fuck it. Like, it was like, well.
I hope people appreciate it, that it's like, we don't edit things. We're just being ourselves, having a good time, drinking beers.
One thing that I hear from people about the network in general is that it just sounds like we're all having a good time.
Yeah.
And that's great, because that's what we're doing. So
Absolutely.
And Brewfest was awesome.
Yeah.
Brett asked me during the show if I would have imagined myself going to something like that a year or two ago. And short answer is no. I just wasn't into all this stuff. But to see the culture surrounding it and the turnout and just how passionate people are about it, and it was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
was like a really, really cool time. I love the little mugs. I got it in the kitchen in there. It's commemorative thing.
Oh, yeah.
My youngest daughter has been drinking out of it for like a week.
That's awesome.
It's great. I mean, really cool atmosphere. Everybody was really nice. The weather was perfect. Our setup was great.
Yeah.
Like doing the show there was really, really cool.
I think we learned a lot too. I think the next time we do it, it's going to be bigger and better.
For sure.
Like we can try to schedule things a little better and have a little bit of a nicer setup and layout and whatever. I don't know. I think it was awesome, and I'm looking forward to doing it again and getting better and better each time.
As long as we have power, we can do this anywhere. Pretty
For
much
real,
anywhere.
right?
So I'm looking forward to doing more things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got a little sunburn that day.
Did you?
Yeah, I came home and took off my sunglasses. I was like, I had the little sunglass line. I was like, wow.
Yeah. So when I think it was a smart move. We were gonna do camping in the backyard that night.
I forgot to ask you about that.
Yeah. So it was really nice that like we've got a really dope air mattress that's like a really tall queen that me and my wife shared. The kids slept in their sleeping bags, but it's a big tent. But I think the right move was to set it up before Brewfest. So I think coming home after that and trying to set up a tent
No chance.
would not have gone well.
Zero chance of that going up correctly.
So I put that up in the morning. Everything was just ready. And I got home and we put on a movie in the tent, and I was just out. I don't remember a thing from the movie. I was just asleep right away. But it was a lot of fun. It ended up being good. But I don't know. Recap the favorites. Brew Gentleman Table Beer
Awesome.
was amazing, and Breaker really blew my mind with their that peach vanilla IPA.
It was very tasty.
I love
very
that.
good.
Are either of those breweries local to us?
No, one's in Pittsburgh and one's in
Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre.
Berry.
I don't know.
What do you say,
It's
Dana?
up for debate.
Dana, what do you say? Wilkes-Barre or Wilkes-Barre? You say neither?
I say neither.
I don't go there.
I've heard both. Have you heard of that town?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I,
I'm
I
gonna
would say
just avoid-
Wilkes-Barre, but I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I'm just going to avoid it so I don't have to say it.
Just say it really fast every time. Like Wilkes-Barre.
I gotta
Up
go
above
to Wilkes-Barre,
Scranton.
PA.
Yeah,
They're over there in Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre. Yeah, just BR. Wilkes-Barre.
They, I definitely dug that IPA that they brought over to us. That was pretty tasty. I subscribe to them on Instagram. Is it subscribe? I follow.
Follow,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I follow them on Instagram, and they do they got a lot of content coming out, so they're a good Instagram follow.
Yeah. There's a small chance I might actually go up there. I'm going to be near there for work pretty soon. So I might try to swing through there and check it out.
The winner of the Connoisseur Hour favorite beer was the Rotunda Peach Sweet Tart beer. And it was
Gotcha.
like a little soury peach, really good. I don't think you ever got it.
No, I didn't. Did you?
It was it was
Did you get it,
really
Dana?
Nope.
No?
it was really tasty. It had a freshness to the peach that I haven't gotten in a beer. It had you can get peach beers that has that artificially kind of taste to
Yeah,
them
a
from the
lot-
peach, and this
absolutely.
tasted like just fresh peach, and it was really good.
That's awesome.
I've heard good things about Rotunda. They're out in Annville, PA.
Okay.
But I've never made it out there or had anything else from them.
I don't know where that is.
It's north of Lancaster,
Okay. Nice.
sort of near Lebanon.
Okay.
Lebanon.
Lebanon. Said that right.
Get some Lebanon bologna.
Well, Dana, let's crack another beer and let's get to know you. What are we going to do next?
I am just
grab
overruling
one?
whatever you guys think, and I'm
Cool.
So this is the I saw this. Dana brought us this one. This is from El Cumbra in New Mexico or Arizona.
No, it's New Mexico.
New Mexico. I'm sorry. I knew it was one of those two. I always get those two confused.
What's the capital of New Mexico?
Albuquerque.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Say that.
This
What
is
is
their
Albuquerque?
Just don't take a left turn there.
this is their elevated IPA, but is the wet hopped version, which I am a big fan of the wet hop beers, the fresh harvest ales, if you will.
And I'm trying to remember which breweries I went to because I went to Albuquerque a few years ago, and I know I went to Marble, but I don't remember if I went to Le Cambrai or not. But I know I had a bunch of their beers when I was there, but I don't know.
They're pretty much the standard out in that southwest part of the country.
Yeah, I feel like when you go anywhere near there, like especially in the airports, like it's on tap and things like that.
Remember Project Dank being a little semi whale a couple years ago. Getting some of that Project Dank was a good goal.
Oh yeah.
So Taylor, if you had to guess what a wet hopped beer was or meant, what would be your guess as to what that means? What is that giving us?
It's like super dank.
Not really.
No,
I mean, I guess it can be.
Yeah, I guess it can be.
it smells dank.
I don't know if I know for sure, but I'm going to give it my best shot. You guys let me know. So when they do the hop harvest, usually when brewers get hops, they're getting them dried out and maybe I don't know, is it like concentrated form? I don't really know, but
You can get whole hop pellets
Yeah,
or
but
whole hop flowers, I should say.
Yeah, but they
or you
have
can
to-
get them condensed in the pellets.
yeah, but you have to dry them out or they go bad, right?
Correct.
So if you
They go moldy.
yeah, they go moldy, sure. So they're brewing right off the bat with fresh off the vine hops, and so I think you get a bit more unique flavor coming out of them.
It's definitely got a little bit more bitterness than we've been getting.
Is it lupulin? Is that when you crack open a hop, you can kind of see looks almost like pollen in there. I don't know if I'm talking out of my ass or
You
what.
might be, or you might be absolutely correct, and I have no way of calling you out.
We're
or not.
learning. We're gonna figure it out.
Or we're just giving bad information, one or the other.
Could be. I like it. This has got a good hop bite. there's a little bit of a caramely sweetness that kind of gives you a ride into that malt that I really like. I don't know. I think it's almost West Coast, but not to me. I don't know why. I kind of feel like there's something that makes it not quite like a West Coast thing, but I feel like that malt though reminds me of that brewery, La Cumbre.
Yeah, it's like their signature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna go 4.25 on this guy.
I'm going solid 4 on that. That's a nice harvest ale. I could drink a little bit of those.
I'm gonna go solid 4 as well.
You like it?
Yeah, I do like it. It's approachable, but dank.
It's
good.
What are some?
It's good. Like it is. It feels clean. It's got a nice finish. You kind of expect, like, the nose of it kind of, to me, makes me feel like it's going to be a little less approachable than what I feel like it is. It's good.
I think that malt balance is helping you out.
Yeah, I like it.
What's there are some other local wet hop ales that we get?
The Victory Harvest Ale is one of the better ones in the area, and I haven't gotten one yet this year. Did you get one, Dana?
Not yet.
I should definitely try and get
What's
down
the
there.
one that Founders, I don't know. I feel like they probably both do, but there's another one that I feel like I always get, and I can't think of the name of it.
I know Sierra Nevada always has one that I can't remember the name of either.
Yeah.
We're woefully unprepared.
Yeah.
We didn't know Dana was
That's all
bringing
right.
this beer.
I'm just bringing up questions for things that we're not prepared for.
I feel like Lagunitas has one too.
Yeah.
Born yesterday.
Yes.
All right, I actually got it.
There you go.
Name. Pulled
Yeah,
one for
you're
you.
right. And that's a good beer.
That's a very
I like
good
that
beer. Pulled that right out of the old keister.
Yep. All right, so what do you guys think?
I gave it a 4.
You gave it a 4 already.
I'd give it a 4.25. I really like it. It's beautiful, clear.
Yeah.
It's got a florally nose and then a bit bitter, but also the little sweet to the malty to set it off. But you're right, it doesn't have that real crisp clean that the West Coast
Yeah.
beers do, but it's tasty and I love it. And I saw it on the shelf in Denver and I'm like, you're coming home with me.
Before we get into that, we're going to get into that later. Or do you just bring an extra bag?
Yes.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Ask me later. I'll tell you all about
Well, Dana, let's get to know you a little bit. I don't know about you, Steve, but I believe we met at the Frank's Bottle Share.
it. Yes.
Which I feel like for me was like one of those I don't know what to call it, but it's like this moment in time that like changed a lot of the craft beer world for me. Where I feel like I was just getting into it. I was ambitious about trading and sharing and things like that. And luckily Fran was at Frank's at the time. And we were
shout
able
out, Fran.
Yeah.
Bagels are slamming.
Yeah. Have you been there yet? Brandywine Valley Bread?
No, I have not.
Do you know about it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that place is awesome. When he does, like, every once in a while he does breakfast sandwiches and they're incredible. They're to die for. I think he said I don't know if I'm dropping some news or anything, but I think he keeps bringing in more and more help because they're so busy. And the lines are always out the door and but he's going to start bringing on breakfast sandwiches full time.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I miss doing that.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should try to like organize a new bottle share and maybe not like a monthly thing, but like let's do this like crazy like once or twice a year, like just bananas local bottle share. Like I think we can team up with like a venue, a couple of the beer groups maybe, and just go nuts. Does that sound like a good idea?
I was going to say do it at my house, but
Yeah.
you're going a little big for my place.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the craziest bottle share on the East Coast. We should try to start one.
I've heard stories of these kind of bottle shares that just everybody's bringing these whales and just like
How do you get to
invite
it?
only, but I don't know if they actually happen or not, or if they're just legends of lore.
I hear about them. Dana's shaking her head. I think she's been to a few. You know what I was going to say about you, Dana? I was thinking about it on the way here. That I feel like a lot of times I'll go to like Younger's on tap somewhere, and I show up, and you're there. Or like, I'm trying to think of other situations, but I know there's been a few where there's like a special release or something cool going on, an event, a tap takeover, something like that. And I show up and you're there, and it's always exciting to see you.
Oh, thank you.
You're always around.
Well, I try. I enjoy the events, the releases, fun things like Zwanza Day at Monk's, the Younger all over, any other fun brewery events at places out this way at Chester County that I can get to relatively easily. So
Yep.
it's fun.
You know, you met Dana at the Frank Share. I met Dana at a share that she did at the Poorhouse. That was where we met, probably a couple months before the Frank Share started up.
Nice.
It was the early bird share.
Oh yeah.
Where the normal beer nerd share starts at like 11:30 at night or something.
Oh yeah. They always did crazy.
Silly for us
late-night
working
ones.
type people.
Right.
So Dana decided to have a share that actually started at like 5, 6.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody. I just saw it and I was like, yo, I'm going. I grabbed a beer and just figured I'd meet whoever I met there.
Yeah.
And it started at 6, and I got to the parking lot at like 5:50 or something. I was like, well, I'm not going to be the first guy in there, you know. So I wait till like 5:59 and I walk in and there's already like 15 people at the table and I was like the last one there. They were all pregame and they were all ready to go.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, Dana, let's get to know you a little bit.
Okie doke.
So I wrote a couple questions for you.
Sure.
When and where was your first craft beer memory?
Oh goodness. Well, the first like real craft beer was Victory.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I sort of got into it slowly a long time ago, moved out of drinking, regular lagers and such, and found like the Honey Brown and then Blue Moon.
J.W. Dundee,
And,
Honey Brown.
And just sort of got me into like, ooh, there are different kinds of beers. And a club that I belong to had an event at Victory. Went to Victory and I'm like, oh, I like beer. Let's check this out. And yeah, it's been over ever since then.
Nice.
One of these days I'm bringing a J.W. Dundee Honey Brown. 'Cause
Yeah.
We've talked about it a couple of different times.
It's come up a few times. Absolutely.
That was a beer of my youth. It was either lager or J.W. Dundee Honey Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That was, oh gosh, I've been in the car club, 15 years.
Car club?
Yeah.
What kind of car club?
Mini.
Mini.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mini.
You got a mini, right?
I do.
That's
why
awesome.
I'm in the
Well, that's why you're in the club.
Duh.
Way to go, John.
Yeah.
Okay, terrific.
Moving on. So, what kind of styles? Like you said, you were in the lagers back then, but nowadays, what are your favorite styles? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, well, I'm the IPA queen of Westchester, so
Right.
obviously IPAs. But I am sort of picky about my IPAs anymore because I do like the more West Coast, the clear, I don't really like the whole lactosey, orange juicy.
Treehouse, Trillium, the
Some
New
of those
England
are good.
IPAs, or
I like New England IPAs,
Okay.
but some of them get just too thick.
Okay.
Just too much.
Yeah.
And I get hop burn a lot of times. I think the last Tired Hands beer, actually at Kennett.
Yeah.
I dumped it. I tasted it. I'm like, oh, it's burning. I'm like, nope, bye.
Which
Yeah.
one? The milkshake they brought?
yeah, they had a peach milkshake.
I
I
never
think.
got over to them.
I actually enjoyed it most times. So I like Alien Church. I like a lot of. I love Hop Hands. It's just like such a perfect beer. I like a lot of Tired Hands beers, but when it comes to the milkshakes, most times I don't like them, and I don't know why. I don't know if it is the lactose thing. I've had lactose beers that I've liked. I've had some ones that I don't like. I'm not really sure. But I kind of enjoyed that peach one, or at least the one I had. I don't know if it was a temperature thing or whatever was going on, but
I think I'm just sensitive to the hop burn thing.
yeah, I know what you mean.
What's the worst hop burn beer you've ever had?
Oh, I don't recall, but I know I've had ones
I know
before I
mine.
figured out what it was. I was like, what? Is there pepper in this beer?
Right.
And I was really confused, and then I read online about hop burn. I'm like, that's it.
Mine was I think it was a triple mango IPA from Pizza Boy.
Oh, okay.
And it almost had like a garlic, that heavy of a burn. Like it was like, I was like, what's happening? Oh my Lord. It's like, it was so hot and just burning me. I couldn't take it.
It's almost like pepper, and it's usually the dry hop beers I think that usually get me.
Yeah. Dana, do you have a favorite brewery?
Not really. I
It's
like
a
a
hard
lot
question,
of them.
right?
Exactly. I mean, I love Levante. They're my boys.
She just did like the chest pound.
Right? Did you hear it?
I've been enjoying Braylock because it's closer to my house.
Okay, yeah.
Out in Kennett, if you haven't been there.
Yeah, we know.
They
We
were-
just
Out to Kent.
yeah, we just talked to Kent.
They were a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I think they did really well on the voting at Kennett Brewfest as well. I think they had like the second or third
Yeah, I think I heard
beer,
that.
which is awesome for a new brewery. I like Victory because it's my, old OG. Outside of that,
It's a hard question, right?
Stone does great brew. I mean,
Yeah.
Lawson's, it's really hard to pick a favorite.
I know what you mean. Exactly.
It's like having a favorite kid.
If there's not a favorite brewery, so there's a lot of awesome breweries to drink at around here. But do you have a favorite place that's not a brewery that you like to have beers
Oh,
at?
absolutely. Two that I can think of right off the top, which would be Sidebar, of course, and
Yeah.
Split Rail.
Yeah.
Because I work in Westchester, so it's really easy to bang it right there. They both have stellar tap lists. Thursdays is IPA day at Split Rail, $4 for any hoppy beer, which is awesome.
That is cool.
Anything in cans, draft, bottles, awesome. Yeah, love both those places.
I've only been to Split Rail a couple times. I've been to Sidebar quite a few times.
I've only been to Split Rail once, and I was so distracted the entire time because it used to be 15 North. And that's all I could think of is, I can't believe this is the place that used to be 15 North.
Right.
Like, this used to be the place where we go for 25-cent drafts and listen to Mr. Green Jeans or Burnt Sienna or any of those other local cover bands. And there'd just be dudes like puking in the bathroom, and now it's this like really cool little gastropubby kind of spot, and they do have a really nice tap list. They've been getting good stuff in, and their food was really good. I had this fried chicken sandwich that was slamming.
Yeah. I've been there to eat a couple times. I think I went there once to drink at the bar, and I think maybe one or two other times I remember going upstairs and having dinner with a beer or something like that. Nothing crazy, but I remember that they have a good tap list. And does Levante have a house beer there? Or to somebody? I thought
used to.
Okay.
I think
Saison.
they used to, the Saison.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still the house beer.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Let's get another beer in real quick.
Do we want to do our styling and profiling?
Yeah, styling and
before we get
profiling.
going? Woo! So,
What are we doing, Steve? Do you
We-
need to pull your thing up? You want me to crack it while you
you
use your
crack.
phone?
John's getting cracking.
Grab his dick and twist it!
Exactly.
Oh my God, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude! Twist that dick! Twist his dick! Twist his dick!
Oh my God, dude, it's an MMA fight.
Oh, dick twist!
Oh, dick twist.
So we are up to the International Amber Lager, which, of course, we had to represent with our homeschool Yingling Lager, bringing it back to the old school.
Yeah, it was funny when you sent the message out and was like, "Here's what the next style and profiling is going to be," and it was Amber Lager. And the first thing I did, I started reading the description of it, and then I was just like, "What are the options?"
Yeah.
And I saw Yingling, and I was like, "Do we have to do Yingling? I mean, like that's the OG from PA."
Yeah, overall impression, a well attenuated malty amber lager with an interesting caramel or toast quality and restrained bitterness. Usually fairly well attenuated, often with adjunct quality. I don't know what that means at all.
Added stuff.
But often with added quality. Smooth, easy, drinkable lager character.
So Taylor knows, and I've told the story before, that I used to not be a beer drinker at all. I was of drinking age and could not drink a Miller Lite or Coors Light. I just didn't like it. It didn't taste good, and I was like, give me a Jack and Coke, give me a Twisted Tea. That was my thing, right? But I remember starting to get into it. I had some summer shandies and was like, okay, I really like this. And I remember going to somebody's like kegger and drinking Yingling and being like, holy crap, this is incredible beer. Like, this is so good. And I can't think of the last time I've had a Yingling. It's been forever.
I can only imagine that it was at some sort of sporting event, at a Phillies game, an Eagles game, something where I'd be out in public. I don't remember the last time I bought one. It's been a while.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was very rare that I don't think I ever really bought a case of Yingling for the house or anything like that, because I was always like Blue Moons, Shock Tops, stuff like that, and then I just started going into like Sculpin all of a sudden.
See, now I do remember this was the first case of beer that I actually bought when I turned 21 legally. And I remember going to the Lamb drive-thru and, could I have a case of lager, please? And I have my my ID ready, and he just gave it to me and didn't ask me for ID. And I was like, son of a bitch, how long could I have been doing this? You
Right?
son of a bitch, ask me for my ID.
That's funny. I remember going to the bar and ordering a lager in Pennsylvania and getting a Yingling. And then I went to Boston and I was like, I wonder if I can do this here and they'll just give me a Sam Adams. And I was like, let me get a lager. And they looked at me like, Sam Adams lager? Like, I just thought that was a thing that you could do and people knew, and I don't know. It just works here and nowhere else.
Yeah, this is it's really the only place where it does work.
Yeah. But what are we gonna rate this thing? Do you have to?
If I'm going, it's so tough to rate it because it's memories, but it's also you're trying to rate the beer. I'll go 3.75. It is what it is. It's Yingling.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how like there's like a lot of caramel flavors in it to me, and it doesn't really even feel all that balanced to me. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting more out of it, maybe like because it's so popular. Like being a Pennsylvania beer, I think that people were used to get really excited when actually like travel for this beer or bring this beer home with them and things like that way back in the day. I've heard stories of it, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I'm gonna go like a 3. What are you doing, Taylor?
I'm going all the way up.
All the way up.
Dude, this beer is a classic. It is hands down the most approachable beer that isn't Miller Lite. And it's absolutely delicious. It's handcrafted in Pennsylvania. It's a staple to our community. And
I feel like I should be standing for this.
this beer is legendary. This beer is legendary, and it's an instant classic.
That was beautiful. I think we need to like start a slow clap for that. That was that was well done. That's like one of those scenes in a movie where like you're trying to pump everybody up the last minute.
Okay,
For
terrific.
Yeah.
Moving
on.
I tried my best.
Dana, what are your thoughts on Yingling
I
Amber
think
Lager?
for what it is, for the style, it's awesome. I would give it 4. It's not something that I seek out. It's not something that I drink. I did used to buy it for my son, but
Right.
he was an old man. So, but yeah, for the style, it's an awesome beer.
Yeah.
And it's not really fair that we're having it after we just had a wet hot beer and
True. True. That
We didn't
probably
do it
has
any
something.
favors.
your palate shot. already.
Honestly, speaking of that, I didn't really rinse my glass out much, and this was delicious. Okay, because I don't know if all those other beers helped or not, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
So on our next episode of Styling and Profiling, we'll be doing the International Dark Lager.
Okay.
After that, we're into the Czech lager land. There's a bunch of Czech beers up next in that.
That's exciting.
It's exciting, but I don't know if I'll be able to get too many of them.
Well, I don't know.
Bevco, I know, has some of them, but we got a couple weeks.
I think Victory
we'll get
keeps
into that.
some Czech stuff on.
There's a
Every
couple
once in a
different
while.
ones.
I can think of that. There's a Czech lager. Yeah, Hip Czech, the Flyers looking one.
But we'll get into it.
We got to take a break. Dana just got back from Great American Beer Festival. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm really excited to hear how that went. It's a place I've wanted to go to, but I have no idea what it's like. So I'm really excited to hear about that. But we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hey, Taylor Cooper here, and if you're looking for real, all-natural relief from stress and muscle soreness, you've got to check out our friends at Eunomia CBD. Eunomia CBD products are grown and processed in the USA, nano-amplified, 100% THC-free, and third-party lab tested. Order anywhere in the U.S. and use promo code MBN to get free shipping plus 20% off your entire order just for our listeners. What are you waiting for? Is stress wearing you down? Are sore muscles getting in the way of your weekend plans? Eunomia CBD is a game changer. I personally love their menthol pain relief lotion. Their gummies are delicious, and they even have CBD treats for your dogs. Go to eunomiacbd.com, check out all their products, and don't forget to use promo code MBN for an extra 20% off your order plus free shipping. It's your life. Feel better. Eunomia CBD. That's EUNOMIA. EUNOMIA CBD.com. Go there now. Use MBN as the promo code. Get 20% off and free shipping. Must be 18 years old or older to purchase.
So you've been listening to the Might Be News Network, but you still can't get enough each week? Become our patron on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/MBN Network to become a patron and get exclusive content now. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to extended episodes of all your favorite shows, as well as perks including MBN merch and monthly giveaways. Just want to support the network? Become a patron for as much or as little as you'd like. Get bonus content each week and head to patreon.com/MBN Network. Your contributions help us make this network bigger and better than ever before. Patreon.com/MBN Network.
All right, welcome back. Now I can say welcome back now, right? Because we came back from commercial.
That's correct.
So I
yeah.
can say welcome back.
That was proper execution. Fuck it.
Welcome back to Might Be Brews. Thanks everybody for listening. If you're not already, check out all the other shows on the Might Be News Network. I'm really hyped for Might Be Tunes. I thought the first episode was great. Lots of cool conversation. I was a little worried that it was going to be all straight hip hop. I'm glad I heard some old school rock coming out of the conversation. I appreciated that.
Yeah. We got a really cool, diverse group of people talking music.
I don't know Carl all that well, but Ahmed, I know he's a cool guy, and but yeah, they're just great people to have on, and it's a lot of fun to listen to.
I'm a little shocked that you go Evil Empire over Rage Against the Machine's first album.
I do that for the hits. For me, it's just it's got Bulls on Parade, Children of the Sun or whatever the Snake Charmer. There's songs on there that I like so much.
I'm not saying it's bad at all.
Yeah,
it's great.
Don't get me. That was a tough.
The first album to me is just
because to me a Rage album has to make my top 5 albums list. It has to. I just don't know which one. And honestly, it changes from the day. Probably today, if you ask me that question right now, it'd be Battle of Los Angeles. To be completely honest.
Oh, well, even going the other way.
Be completely honest.
Awesome. There's a really good YouTube clip of them playing in like a record store before the first album came out, and I'll send you the link on it. It's like they're like babies, but like the songs are all there. It's so cool to see back in the day.
Yeah, wild, I bet.
Right? So you can check out conversations like that
every Friday.
Every Friday. We'll be every other Friday.
Every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday
now, yeah.
Coming out.
Yep.
Check out Relatable Radio. If you don't like the segment, there's something wrong with you. There's lots of good stuff going in there. So sign up to our Patreon page.
Do it.
Patreon.com/MBN Network. Check us out. So what are we drinking next here? What do we want to go to here? Getting a little thirsty.
Do you have one from Colorado? Which one's from Colorado?
Want to do the Weldworks?
A Weldworks.
Weldworks. I've heard
Juicy
a
bits.
lot about Weldworks.
Juicy bit.
Never had one. I'm excited.
Oh man.
All right. So was this last week?
Yes.
Last week, you were in Denver, Colorado for the Great American Beer Festival. And Taylor, if you don't know much about Great American Beer Festival, that is a beer festival that had more than 60,000 people descending on Denver. It was the 38th annual. There was more than 800 breweries pouring over 4,000 beers.
Woo! Man, that's huge. That's I went to Kennett Brewfest thinking like this is a really cool thing. It's really big. And like not to take anything away from it, obviously it's a whole different thing.
That was 101 breweries. That was
60,000 people.
That was an eighth the amount of breweries.
Yeah, no shit. That's wild.
So that's broken up into different sessions, right? Do you know how
Yes.
many different sessions
Four
they have?
different.
Four different sessions.
The first one is on Thursday night. There's one on Friday night. There's an early session on Saturday and a late session on Saturday.
And are they different breweries at different
No.
times, or are all the
No.
breweries available?
All the breweries are for all 4 sessions.
Now, I've heard it's changed a few times, but from what I understand, they organize the breweries by the region of the country.
Correct.
So there's like an East Coast,
Correct.
a West Coast, this and that. I don't know the rest of the country. There's
Yeah.
just something in the middle. I don't know how they divide all
Midwest, then they have a Meet the Brewers section. They have a Jameson cask mates beer.
Yeah.
Breweries that have made beers with the Jameson barrels.
that. I saw that.
Yeah, so it's basically arranged by geography.
Speaking of that, I hear that there's so that like Great American Beer Fest kicked out all the AB, InBev,
Yes.
and the big name breweries.
Correct.
But they let Jameson come in. And there's a lot of people that are giving flack for that because they're like, well, Jameson's like a big conglomerate national thing. And, does that make sense to not let in, the Miller Coors or whatever, but let in a Jameson?
Yeah, I can see that point, but the Jameson area is there are craft breweries there. Small, like River Horse was in there, and
Sly Fox, I
Sly
think,
Fox
did something with them, right?
Is this Evil Genius.
Yeah.
So they're smaller breweries, and they just have made beers. You don't get Jameson in there. You don't get. It's all beer. There's only beer at this place.
Sure, yeah.
So Jameson does sponsor the area, but the beers and such in there are craft breweries.
Yep. I think it's neat. I'm glad that a big company like that is seeing the value in craft breweries and partnering with them and making awesome beers. I don't see a problem with it, but I was reading up on, all these articles kept coming out about GABF, and that was one of them that I read. I was like, well, that is an interesting take that, they're kicking out the big corporate guys.
Well, it also, but you think the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was there. So that's another big corporate. I mean, they don't let big beer in there,
Right.
but they do let other sponsors in.
So out of the sessions that you attended, what do you think, what were the best parts of it?
The best parts. Oh my goodness. Well, everybody has a different enjoyment when you go to a beer fest. I'm a wander around like a child in a candy store.
Right.
And I just sort of wander around and end up having a few and then chit-chatting with people. My friends had a much more laser focus. They had lists of what they wanted to try. I kept up with them for a little bit, and then I ended up wandering off and talking with people that I knew there, and then I got a back massage, and then I ate some food and
Yeah.
had some free hot dogs, and So I just the atmosphere and talking to the brewers and seeing the different beer and just seeing the people. It's beer people, and I love beer people.
They're the best people.
They are, and that's that. I think that's the fun part for me. Other people might say getting these whales. I mean, I had a Sam Adams Utopias. I've had it every time I've gone, but a lot of people have never even had it or even seen
never
it.
had one.
A lot of the beers are serious whales, and that's what they enjoy. I enjoy them as well, but I enjoy the fest and having fun.
So in your session, who had the longest line?
Oh, well, immediately it was probably Weldworks for the Media Noches. Three Floyds had a very long line because they had a Dark Lord variant. Russian River, of course, because there are people, other areas of the country that don't get Pliny the Elder.
That's a trip to
Yeah.
people out here that don't know that. That they're like, well, Pliny's great, but we get it. And there's people that would give their left arm for a sip of Pliny.
Yep. Oh, the
the
Utopias for Sam Adams Utopias, they do that as a timed tapping. It's not on tap the whole time you're there. So I think it was like at 2:07 they would tap it, and a half hour before that, people start conglomerating
Just
around
hanging
this
out.
booth, and there had to be hundreds of people just packed around this end booth. And they counted down, and it was more fun with beer people as well because I was sort of towards the front because I knew it was going to happen. And you would just pass your cup up, and then to get a beer because you're standing there waiting and you need to drink. So the beer people, they'd hand it up, they'd get you a beer, and they'd hand it back, and and then we counted down to tapping, and then everybody got their Utopias, and everybody was very happy.
How is the Utopia? What's the? It's really not beer like from what I've heard.
No, it's 39% alcohol, so it's much more like liquor.
Yeah, it's more like a brandy.
Very sweet.
Or,
Exactly. It's very much like that, but it's yummy.
That's interesting. So what about outside of the actual festival?
Right.
What kind of stuff was going on? Did you
Awesome
do?
stuff. Lots of stuff. That is, if you don't like Beer Fest, you could go to Denver during GABF and just go to the events at the local breweries and bars and have an awesome time and have awesome beers. It's similar to Philly Beer Week, where a lot of the breweries and the bars are having different events, different tappings, different guest brewers coming in. So we hit a lot of different venues when we were there, both beer bars and breweries. And you could, like I said, wouldn't even have to go to GABF.
That sounds like a blast.
It
Do
is.
you have any secrets or tips for somebody that wants to go to GABF? Like something that would just help them out if it's their first time going?
Absolutely. So the way GABF is laid out, there's the Thursday session, which I have gone to every year in the past because it's a less attended session.
How many years have you gone?
4.
Okay.
It's my 4th year, but I've gone with my friends who've gone 10 years now. So I learned everything from them.
Gotcha.
It's less attended. All the beers are on tap because it's the first night. It's a really good night to go. I skipped Friday. Friday we do, well, this year we actually did a bottle share with friends we had out there, but you can hit up local bars. In the past, I went up to Boulder and went to Avery. All kinds of events are going on because Friday night tends to be sort of what you call a shit show.
Okay.
Saturday, the early session, you have to be a member of the American Home Brewers Association or the Brewers Association, I guess.
Okay.
So you have to be a member, and they send out a code for you to get your tickets, and you can only get 2. That's a good one to go to as well because it's fewer people as well.
Sure.
Because you have to have the membership. Saturday night, not at all. A lot of the stuff is kicking. You're not going to get it. Also known as shit show. So Thursday night, Saturday afternoon.
Very interesting.
Everything that I saw, I was seeing a couple on tap lists. They had well works all over the place.
Oh, absolutely.
That was one of the things, and we're drinking on some well works right now,
Yes, we are.
Juicy bits.
and it's definitely aptly named.
It definitely is juicy. I feel like there's a bitterness at the end that's almost a turnoff for me.
There's a little hop. I don't want to know.
I don't know if it's
I
hop
don't wanna say
burn.
It's a hop burn, but it's
I had
close.
the thought, but it's close.
It's close.
But I'm probably gonna go. I'm thinking, man, it's tough because I'm trying to compare it to the other beers that I've rated today. But I think I'm gonna go 3.75.
You're going 375.
Yeah.
I'll go 4. It's still good. It's still got the juicy that I like to it. Taylor?
I need to take another sip. Because I'm like right between 3.75 and 4. It's good. I see what you're saying about the aftertaste, like the bitterness to it. Otherwise, it's juicy. It's delicious. I'm going 4. Because I like it. I do like it. I would drink that more than just sometimes. I would drink that semi-regularly. Semi-regularly.
I would give it a 3.75 only because it's a little thin to me. I do like I like the bitterness at the end because I like my bitter beers. But it's a very good beer.
Yeah.
It's tasty. I like the it has like a really nice like kind of citrus vibe to it.
Definitely got the citrus notes.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I wish it had a little more body, a little more depth to it, and the little burn at the end I'm not crazy about. So I read a really interesting article about GABF earlier today that said popular brewers get treated like rock stars at
absolutely.
GABF. And I thought it was really neat to hear. And there were some things that I didn't realize. And a lot of this article had to do with Sam Calagione from Dogfish Head, who I think gets a lot of love, especially from other brewers that are there. And it was really neat because I saw that I didn't realize it, but the article said that Sam and Dogfish Head were one of the first brewers to start adding culinary ingredients into beer. So they were one of the early ones to start doing things like, I don't know, just things that weren't necessarily like different hop combinations or, super hoppy things or whatever. He was adding in, spices and rosemary and, who knows what else.
I mean, the first time they did 120, that was probably boggled some people's minds.
Dark IPAs, fruit juice IPAs, coffee stouts, they all got their start at Dogfish Head. Among the beers being poured this year are Suddenly Comfy, an Imperial Cream Ale with fresh apple cider, Sagon cinnamon, and Madagascar vanilla beans. There's a sour barrel-aged sour with raspberries called Buddha's Hand, I believe. So, those are kind of the things that I guess, with the food ingredients and things like that he's doing and continues to do that it seems like they still do well with. I don't know. I'm thinking about that Dogfish Head. What was it? The The 75 minute with like the maple syrup.
75.
I'm a fan of that
the
one.
cask.
Is that the 75?
I love that one.
Do you?
That was always on when I would go down to the beach, and that was always number one on the list.
Is Dogfish Head the one that does that that sour that I like at your place all the time?
Oh yeah.
Sequence.
The sequence. Yep.
Thing is
Banger.
serious.
So Calagioni's been going to GABF since 1999, and he says in the early days the reactions were a lot different than today. That they were actually pouring his beer out in front of him, saying that like he wasn't good.
Nice.
And way back then, even the hop intense beers weren't around. And it just says him using culinary ingredients in beer was unheard of at the time.
I wonder what it was like going out there in 99 and 2000. It was probably nothing like it is now.
It's got to be so much different, right?
I wonder if it was like a big like Pilsner contest.
I don't know. It must be. But I also read somewhere that the Pilsners and lagers are making a comeback where everything was shifting, where when you would go to GABF, supposedly it was just IPAs and barrel-aged stouts.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody was putting out for people. And now you're starting to see lagers and more sours and things like that coming back.
Is the fruited sour game out there as popular as it is around this area?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like how many stops would you say that you made like just in one session?
Oh, how many beers?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Let's consult the list.
Let's consult my list. Let's see. I didn't break it down into I went to 2 sessions and I had 117 from GABF.
Wow, that's
I think it
great.
was 60 some one day. And
Yeah,
the rest
yeah.
From the other.
Yeah.
I was in Denver for 5 days. I got there on Tuesday, so you got to get there early to
Get set up, get ready.
Yeah, there's a lot of events. The events start
Sure.
mostly on Wednesday. So I hit 14 different venues, 1 bottle share. I had 159 untapped check-ins, and I know I missed some.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it was 5 straight days of drinking beer.
Wow.
Across 5 days.
Yes.
I mean, that's still a lot. I'm just thinking like if you go to something like Kennet, there was at least 200 beers there. Like how many can you possibly check in an afternoon? But over 5 days, that's still a lot. I mean, what does that break down to?
A lot of them were
What is that, a
tasters,
good
though.
30, 40 beers a day?
Yeah.
Tasters? Yeah.
It was a lot of flights, a lot of tasters.
That's
really cool.
it's
really
yeah,
cool.
it's awesome.
Because like that's an experience that like, just as a novice to this whole thing, and I look at Kennet Brewfest as like this huge deal. I can't even fathom that.
You put in a lot of steps.
You just walk in there and it's just like,
Yeah, for real.
The place is huge, so you get
Yeah.
a lot of walking.
yeah, oh yeah, I bet.
I want to give a shout out quick to Andy B Show. She was a recent guest and she posted something on her blog, or maybe it was just in Beer Nerds. Either way, it was like an opinion piece that was like, do the medals from GABF really matter? And I thought that was interesting because what are some of the brewers that are not represented there? Who doesn't go? Is Tired Hands, is Treehouse? Like, I don't hear about those places being there. And there are some of the ones that are very popular. They get lines every can release.
Do they have dinner there?
I don't know if Maine's there or not.
Is Maine Brewing Company there?
No, I don't think they were there. But there's a difference between GABF and the beers that are in the competition. You can enter a beer in the competition and not have a booth. The booths at the fest are expensive. So, a lot of breweries won't do it, or they'll do it 1 year and that, they'll back off of that. But you can submit your beer for judging.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
Without having a booth.
Exactly.
Okay. So, there's got to be a lot of people that entered beers, but I'm curious, the ones that won, how much does that really matter to the beer community?
I think it matters to the real beer nerds. It's interesting, and when they do announce the awards, people at the fest, like they announce them during the Saturday early session.
Okay.
All the brewers will be at the awards, and they are broadcasting it, and then they put little stickers, and you'll see the brewers coming out with medals. And I'd walk in. Well, one of the years I went to 2SP. I guess it was 3 years ago now, when Bob won for the Russian, and he had his medal, and I got a Russian. He had a Russian, and we were cheering because he had his gold medal, which was really
That's
cool.
awesome.
So yeah, and people do seek those out at the fest. And when you're at the fest, people will have signs like, gold medal winner this year or silver medal winner, last year. So it probably does drive at the fest. Once you get home, I'm not so sure how much it really people realize it. I mean, the beer community maybe, but general public.
I've heard some people say that like it doesn't really matter. It's just happened to be that day that you had the best beer. It doesn't mean much for your brewery. I've heard other places say it completely changed their business, where people that have won gold medals for a style, that now all of a sudden they've got people coming in their door all the time because they've heard about it.
Yeah, I would assume that it would affect it on a local level a lot more than anything. You know, like, hey, this is an award-winning beer. Your hometown brewery makes it. Come check it out, and then boom, here it is.
I know the last time I talked to Mike Hamero over at Root Down, it was shortly after he won gold for his American IPA, Bine, I think it was.
Yes.
Correct.
And he said, oh yeah, it made a difference. I mean, I think they're popular already, but he said, yeah, I mean, you've got people traveling from surrounding states to come in and have that beer because it won.
That's pretty dope. Like, I would be very cool with that. Like, yo, what's up? You're from some other place. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But I want to give a shout out quick to the Pennsylvania breweries that took home medals this year from GABF. Free Will Brewing Company for their beer Ollie. That was a Belgian style lambic or sour ale, one of the two.
It's a beer.
It's a beer. I'd be really interested to try it because I've been digging lambics a lot lately. Cellarworks Brewing Company called St. Eldritch. It was a Brett beer that took home, it looks like a silver. New Trail Brewing Company, which people have been going nuts for lately, their Lazy River Pils took home gold for contemporary American style Pilsner. Helltown Brewing took home, I think that's a bronze for Mischievous Brown. That's an English style brown ale. Church Brew Works, the Lawrenceville Brewery, took home looks like a gold for, I don't know how you say that. Powis Monk Dunkel. I don't know how you say that word, but it's a German style dark lager. Yeah. I doubt it's Pius. I doubt it's that. Swashbuckler Brewing Company, their Dunkelweiss German style wheat ale, took home a silver and another gold for 2SP for the Russian.
Yep.
Which I think they've won multiple times with that beer.
They have. They didn't win last year, but they have won, and they
At least 3 or 4 times, I think.
And then when he was at Iron Hill Media brewing that similar, if not the same beer, he was winning gold medals for Iron Hill.
I don't know if I've had the Russian from 2SP, but I know I've had the Russian Imperial Stout from Iron Hill, and that thing is really good. I remember having it and being so blown away. I was like, can I get cans? And the cans are more expensive there than they were if you went to Wegmans. I think it was like something crazy, like $25 for the 4-pack.
So all those people that you just listed are people from Pennsylvania that won?
And those are Pennsylvania brewers. So congratulations, everybody. You guys did great. And I don't know, I'm like really excited to try really all of them, that Free Will, that New Trail, and a couple of the other breweries I just never really heard of. They might not all be my style of beer, but I'm definitely interested in trying them.
Speaking of styles of beer, what are we going to get into next year? I know
Whatever you guys want.
Dana's eyeing this bottle up.
Should we?
She's
Do you
been
want to
looking
go
at
into
it.
that one?
Is it time?
We got time. We got a good 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 minutes.
6, 7, 8, 9, 15.
Let's do that one then.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to hit the button.
For the regular session. We still have our half-hour Patreon session.
It's got wax, so Steve might be.
We're going to wax that thing.
It's fancy.
I
Fancy
wanted...
for real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dig that off, dude.
Yeah, let's do
Dig that off.
I'm going to be doing work here, John.
All right,
so
yeah.
You're going to have to carry this.
All right, I posted something on Instagram recently, and I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Is there a flavor that when added to beer that you would always avoid?
Oh yeah, I posted on that.
What did you say?
Lavender and
Lavender's
and
gross.
pepper and pepper. I don't like pepper beers.
What was in that Dogfish Head beer? I think there's like a rosemary or something
Like a
beer.
real herbal sort of
Yeah,
thing?
I can't do those.
Which one? The Saison du Boeuf?
I definitely can't do that one. That one's gross. It's like peppercorns and junk. I really don't like that one. Here, he's trying to hand you a whatchamacallit.
Scissors.
Scissors, that's what it's called.
Taylor, you don't have a wax cutter at your house here?
I'm afraid not, Steve.
Oh,
It's a no-go.
Dana might have something here. All right, so I also want to give a quick shout out to Levante and our boy Devin Mack, because recently on Beer Nerds, Devin Mack kind of went off on Facebook, and I don't know if he would really say he was going off or not. I kind of took it that way, but Levante sent out a mass text message that was saying, "Hey, here's what we have in stock. Hopefully, you're getting ready for the weekend. Come and see us." And it had like their beer list, and he was like, "I do not appreciate unsolicited text, and I definitely don't want any of this beer. So why are you texting me?" And put him on blast on Facebook. Levante immediately responded to him and said, "So sorry, we're going to rethink things and we'll stop doing our mass texts." And just said like, we're really sorry, we're going to stop it. And then word started getting out that they were going to put a special stamp on the bottom of some of their cans referring to that situation, saying like, "Hey, if you're a beer god and you're in the Beer Nerds group and you want a good time, text this number." Or I think it was like text beer god to the phone number. So it was kind of like poking fun at the situation, and it brings you to a survey, and you can sign up to be in there. But I saw both Devin and Jim from Levante messaging back and forth with each other about this, and everything was in, positive vibes, good spirits. They were having fun about it, and I love how Levante constantly, if there's ever something that comes up like that, they're not afraid to jump right in front of it, admit when they're wrong, and take care of it the right way. They always take care of it, and it's always done well and classy, and I just really appreciate it. Devin Mack's a really dear friend of mine, and I don't know. I just feel like it couldn't have been a happier situation, and I love the way it worked out, and everybody had fun with it. But I don't know. I thought that was cool.
I agree.
Did you text Beer Gods to the link? I did too. Did you do the survey?
I didn't know what to answer.
It's so hard. One of the first questions was like, what beer do you have in your fridge or what beer do you hope to come home to on a Friday night? Or something
what are you
like
going to
that?
drink? I'm like, whatever's in my fridge.
Yeah, there's too many options.
I kind of just messed with them on every answer that I gave.
Did you?
I thought about that.
But I really found myself struggling because the last question was, if you could have Levante brew your perfect beer, what style, what adjuncts or hop profile would you want, and what would you name it? And I was just completely dumbfounded. Like, I want a perfect Belgian lambic. I want a juicy, fruity IPA. I want this thick imperial stout. Like, I don't know. That's like the hardest effing question in the world. But I was curious what you guys thought, and if you had an answer to that.
My answer that I put on there was I put in, what did you want to add or hop profile? I put mosaic.
Yep.
And then the beer name would be
Nice. That's cool.
But then I didn't know if we'd get in trouble from Hanson. I didn't know if Hanson would with the bop, or if Crash Test Dummies with would be yelling at us.
Depends on how many M's you have.
Let's get into this beer here.
What the F is this? What is it? Because it looks like SW40.
It's definitely got the motor oil look to it.
Look at it sticking on the side of the glass.
So what's this called? Melanoches?
Media Noche.
Media Noches.
From Wildworks.
What is that?
What is media noche? That's Spanish for something.
It's got to be something, right?
I don't.
I'm going to Google it. How do you spell it?
Muy bueno.
Media and Noche. And this is the Media Noche premiere, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Premier. I haven't even tasted it yet, but the nose on it is just spectacular.
When I Google it, it comes up as some kind of Spanish sandwich that originated in Cuba. So it's not Spanish, it's Cuban. But I don't think it's a Cuban. But that's all I got.
It's not a Cubano?
Not a Cubano. Cuban media noche sandwich recipe.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what
I don't really care. This beer is fire. This thing is delicious. Give me a sounder or something, because this shit's banging.
Is that as strong as you want to go?
No, give me some fire. Yeah.
Is it an instant classic for you?
This thing,
Is it a 5 for you?
it's pushing a 4.75.
Well, then
It might be more.
Then you can't have me do the air horn. Come on.
The air horn,
It's reserved.
No.
It's reserved for things.
I don't
Pretty
get
sure
4.75.
if Lager got the air horn, that this beer needs the air horn.
I'm giving it the air horn. This is a 5 for me.
All right.
It's a 5.
This is a 5 for me.
Air Hornet.
It's a 5 for me. This is really, really good.
This is the kind of beer that I want to. I want to sit with an entire like Saturday. No, not a Saturday. Even like a Sunday evening, from like 4 till 6 o'clock, and just sit with this beer and just taste it and think about it.
I could smell this beer forever.
There's so many different flavors going on in this beer.
There's a couple times or like times of day or events, I guess, that I really enjoy stouts. One is a late morning on a weekend where it's cool and the sun's starting to warm things up, and like maybe it's like 11:30 a.m. and you crack a stout, and that's a good time for me. It doesn't happen very often, but for some reason that's just always a time where when it's starting to get cold out that I crave a stout and I just want to enjoy this weather and sit on my back porch and sip on a stout. That and a late night campfire. This just sounds perfect. Hanging out with some buddies, throwing some cans in the fire.
Is this a whale around here?
Yes.
Yeah. This is WeldWorks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Sorry.
He gets so mad because he's like, yo, that dinner's amazing. Can I go get some at Exton Beverage?
No.
Shit like that. He's just always like, dinner's amazing. Yeah. What else was it? I don't know. There's been a couple lately where he's been like, yo, bring that table beer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, anybody driving through Pittsburgh today?
Yeah, I was cracking up because I was like, you guys are like, what should I stop and get tonight? I was like, get that table beer because I didn't have any.
Yeah.
I didn't have any. And like listening to the episode, I'm so mad because everybody was like, oh yeah, that table beer was great.
If anybody's listening, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to shoot a message to them, or I wonder. I've been chatting it up a little bit. Have you guys seen the First Sip Brew Box out of Pittsburgh?
I have not.
There's it's a veteran owned. This guy Dennis. I'm giving him a plug, I'm going to do it because I like the guy, and I'm hoping we can work out some kind of like partnership or a way to hang out sometime. But they do like a subscription box that's all beer related stuff, and it's really cool. But he's out in Pittsburgh, and maybe I'll shoot him a message and see if he can get us some of that Brew Gentleman table beer.
Do it.
Yeah. All right. So I gotta say, this beer for me, I already said did everybody rate it? You rate it?
No, but I give it a 5.
You doing 5?
Yeah.
I think I'm going 5 too.
It's 5. This is 5.
I'm going 5. This
There's
beer is
bourbon.
damn near perfect.
Brandy. There's oak. There's chocolate.
It's amazing.
This beer is muy fuego.
No, I'm really, really enjoying this, and I don't want it to end, but all things unfortunately have to come to an end.
Unless you're a Patreon subscriber.
Yes.
Go to patreon.com/MBN Network to hear more from us. We got more beer to drink. We got more stuff to talk about.
We got another half hour to go.
We're still here. We're doing
rocking it.
We're doing it.
If you guys took the time to listen to us, we love you.
Don't stop there. Go to Patreon.
Go to patreon.com/MBN Network.
John loves you all.
Also, for crying out loud, go to eunomiacbd.com and you use the promo code, get 20% off and free shipping. You're stupid if you don't do it. It's silly.
I don't have anything else to say. You nailed it.
Silly.
Guys, thank you.
This beer is silly. This is amazing.
Guys, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Grab his dick and twist it! Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude. You twist that dick! Twist his dick! Twist his dick! Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Oh, dick twist!